Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in Legacy. Today we're looking at Painter. Painter is a combo deck that uses the synergy between Painter's Servant and Grindstone. Grindstone mills the top two cards and repeats if they share a color. Painter's Servant makes all cards gain a color, meaning Grindstone will mill forever, decking the opponent. The deck backs up its combo with counterspells and welder effects. The deck is nearly always at least red, but can be expanded with other colors or swap red out entirely. Blue versions play card draw spells like Brainstorm, Expressive Iteration, and more counterspells. Karn and Urza Saga function as secondary win conditions and tutors for the combo, with Saga able to make Karnstructs and fetch Grindstone, and Karn able to fetch either combo piece from the sideboard as well as Liquid Metal Coating or Mycosynth Lattice for a lock. Goblin Engineer can also tutor for combo pieces, and it, along with Goblin Welder, can swap binned artifacts to combo or for value. Cards like Ichor Wellspring, Twin Shot Sniper, and Wormcoil Engine can be repeatedly welded to trigger their effects again, or you can simply rebuy cards that have been hit by removal. The deck of course plays tutor targets for Saga along with some interaction like Bolt and counterspells. The deck sometimes plays Imperial Recruiter as a fifth copy of Painter's Servant and means of finding other cards like Goblin Welder, which has caused the deck to occasionally be referred to as Imperial Painter. Painter's Servant has uses outside of the primary combo. The best color to name with it is usually blue since it makes Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast able to target anything. If you're playing a blue version of the deck, it lets you pitch anything to Force of Will and Negation. Do note though that this is also true for your opponent. The same is true in other directions, where if you name red, anything can be hit by Hydroblast, and all the Evoke Elementals can pitch anything if you name their color. The deck also plays some mono ramps such as Ancient Tomb and Lotus Petal to get the combo going faster. Lastly, Ensnaring Bridge can buy time to find what you need. Sideboarding and Weaknesses. Being an artifact deck, Painter is weak to artifact hate, especially null rot effects. It's also susceptible to graveyard hate since they shut down Welder and Engineer. Painter's Servant can also be killed in response to the Grindstone activation. Some of the sideboard is taken up by Karn Wish targets, the rest can be devoted to interactive cards such as Abrade. The deck can be built in many ways with many different cards and there is no set list. For example, White Painter is a white weenie deck that uses Oswald Fiddlebender to find the combo. Black Painter gains access to various cards like Dark Ritual, Dark Confidant, Thoughtseize, etc. Try out different cards and see what works. Tips and tricks. While Goblin Engineer can only return artifacts that cost 3 or less, it can bin artifacts of any size, such as Sundering Titan, which can be returned with Goblin Welder. You can discard your hand with LED and bring artifacts back with Welder and Engineer. You can also use it to generate mana for Karn Wish targets like Lattice, or dump your hand if you need to get Ensnaring Bridge online in an emergency. If you don't have Painter, you can mill yourself with Grindstone to put cards in the graveyard for Welder and Engineer. If your opponent has 0 graveyard synergies or you control an effect like Leyline of the Void, you can mill them to randomly get rid of important cards. It's also a potential viable strategy against decks like Doomsday. Note that Painter adds a color to cards, it doesn't change the colors a card already is. Your opponent must activate anything they want to with an activated ability before you sacrifice Saga to tutor for Pithing Needle. They can't wait and see what you get since once Needle's in play, it's too late. Against Eldrazi decks, naming any color with Painter shuts off the soul land abilities of Eye of Ugin and Eldrazi Temple. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Painter. I want to thank my fellow players in the Magic community for whom sharing their experiences helps make these guides possible. You can find additional resources, such as an up-to-date deck list, in the description. If you think I left out anything important or got something wrong, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned to see what deck we look at next time.